So I don't want to get lost in the how I'm dressed or how I look or where I'm sitting or whatever this is, you know. It's about the actual topic. There has been a systematic attack on Torah education, and this doesn't start, last year, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 100 years ago, 200 years ago. It started actually thousands of years ago, in the time of the wicked king, Ahaz, because the wicked kings, our worst enemies, the worst people on earth come from us. That's what Hashem told Avraham Avinu when he compared his kids. You're going to be like the stars one time, and then the second time he says they're going to be like the sand, like the dirt of the earth. That's how numerous. So the sages teach that you can be at the highest places, and because you could be so high, you could fall to the lowest places. You could be in the lowest places. And so anyone who's fallen to the lowest places, what that really means is they could be at the highest places, as our sages teach. Haggadah Rav Zamir Cohen Shlita. Everything is potential. There's nothing that's good or bad per se. It's all dependent on how you use it. And so this applies with things in the world, and this applies to people as well. So the things, a fire. A fire is not good or bad. A fire is tremendous potential, because you could, and what that means is you could do so much good, and because you can also do so much not good. It's the more potential it has, the more good and the more not good. So with a fire, you can, heat your homes, light up the night, sterilize things, cook your food, warm yourself in the winter. But we also know that the fire can, God forbid, destroy forests and cities and people. Chas v'shalom. The internet is not good or bad. The internet is a tremendous tool. You could do so much good, and you could do so much not good. So the internet is not good or bad. It's depending on how you use it. You can connect the world and spread important information, raise charity overnight, spread news of important things overnight, teach everybody the alphabet, otherwise in ways that most people would never be able to get otherwise, be able to reach every single person. But obviously with the internet, you're connected to like the gates of hell, literally. Like you can see things you've never ever wanted to see in your life. And so that is the world, that it's all in potential. And so the same with people, is that if a person feels that they've reached the lowest point and they feel like they're the worst person on earth, what that really means is that they could be one of the best people on earth. So all these people who point their fingers at these kids and say, oh, they're the worst kids ever, or whatever, that really means that what they're really saying is that these could probably be the prophets that are supposed to return before Mashiach comes, as Rabbi HaKodesh writes in the name of the Rambam, with an M, the one. So there's been a systematic attack. The king Ahaz, why is his name Ahaz? This is in the Midrash Megillat Rut, Midrash Rabbah Megillat Rut. So it says, why was his name Ahaz? Because Ahaz means to grab hold of. He grabbed hold of the doors of the Beit HaMidrash and the Beit Knesset, and he closed them in front of the nation, and he didn't let the little kids learn the alphabet. And because it says his thought process was, if there's no calves, meaning if there's no baby goats, which are called kids also, so if there's no kids, there's going to be no goats. If there's no goats, there's going to be no milk. If there's no milk, there's going, the point of this being, the commentators explain, if there's no kids learning the alphabet, there will be no kids learning the Torah. If there's no kids learning the Torah, of course there's going to be no kids learning the Mishnah. If there's no kids learning the Mishnah, of course there's going to be no kids learning the Talmud. And then in a few years, you will have millions of people who literally know nothing. Chas v'shalom. And he wanted Am Yisrael to get destroyed from within itself and self-destruct. God forbid. To cut them off from the very things that they need. And this is the way of the enemy. Rabbi Aryeh Kaplan Zatzal, in the name of the Baal, Toldot Yaakov Yosef, in the name of the Baal Shem Tov Zatzal. A person must learn from the evil, or a person must think like the enemy would. And how does the enemy think? The Tanakh reveals it to us by the story of Shimshon, the Plishtim, the Philistines, or the Palestinians. It's the same thing. Nothing has really changed for all these years. It's all the same thing, maybe new names and characters. But it's not even new names here in this case, because it's the Plishtim that live in Gaza, in Aza. It's all the same thing. What did they want to do? They said, what is the source of your power? They wanted to find out what makes Shimshon so strong. Excuse me, please. They wanted to find out what gives him his power so that they can cut him off from it. That is the way of the enemy. They wanted to cut him off from the very things that give him strength and cut him off from the very things that give him power. So this is what an enemy does. So if the Torah is given in with biblical Hebrew, which is not at all modern Hebrew, as Hagaon Rav Moshe Shapira Zatzal makes it an extremely important point for people to realize. Ivrit is not Lashon HaKodesh. Ivrit is already a misunderstanding of certain key words and incorrect definitions for certain words and a bunch of synonyms. People think that there are synonyms and already borrowing from other languages. It's a mix. So it's not at all Lashon HaKodesh. Kadosh is the letter Kuf. Kuf, as the Rabbi Zamir Cohen Shlita teaches in the name of the children in the Beit HaMidrash, in the Talmud, that the Kuf, Kadosh, what's translated as holy. But what does that mean? You have to always go back to Lashon HaKodesh. Kadosh means separate, and that's seen in the letter Kuf, one of the two letters with two seemingly separate parts. Being Kadosh is being separate, elevated, unique, set apart. There's nothing like it. That's Kedushan. And the angels say that Hashem, so the level of the angels is a level above us, and they say Hashem is Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh. So meaning like 4 levels completely beyond us, beyond comprehension for us, of course. But Kadosh means separate, set apart. So Lashon, translated as tongue literally, but here meaning language. But Lashon is a very interesting word because it's written with a lamed and a shin. Lamed is the tongue, right? And the only way to say lamed, and it's the highest letter in the alphabet, this goes all the way up. So the only way to say la is to put the tip of the tongue at the roof of the mouth. That's exactly the lamed, Lashon. And the shin literally is a tooth. Shen is a tooth, and visually it looks like a sharp set of teeth. So sheen, and that's you need your teeth in order to pronounce the word sheen, right? It's the wind blowing through the teeth. That is exactly the letter shin. Or depending on the dot, it could be a sin. But anyway, Lashon, and these are the two tools. So the tongue, the lamed sticks up above the line. This is like the tongue that could stick out of the mouth. Or to say lamed, you put your tongue at the top of your mouth. And the shin is your tooth. These are the tools that we use for speech. So Lashon is, again, it's exactly what it is. This is the unique feature of Lashon HaKodesh, is that another unique feature is that the definition of the letters is in the letters themselves, and the definition of words is in the word itself. As Hagaon Rav Moshe Shapira Zatzal, Hagaon Rav Zamir Cohen Shlita, Hagaon Rav Aryeh Kaplan, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, as these great sages teach. So the analysis of words often reveals a deeper meaning as to what something is. That's Rabbi Aryeh Kaplan Zatzal. You can actually see that video online. The full interview, Rabbi Aryeh Kaplan. Somebody, Baruch Hashem, taped this and then uploaded it. So it's really amazing to go to the original uploader. So if the Torah is written in Lashon HaKodesh, what is the enemy going to do? It's never going to let kids learn the alphabet. Not only that, it's going to just destroy it at any way it can. Because when I say alphabet, I don't just mean alphabet that most people see in the newspaper or see in the Israeli news or see on Israeli products. The reason why we have to use that script of Hebrew, that font of Hebrew, is because these letters in their true gorgeous forms, exactly as they appear on an authentic Sefer Torah scroll, are only reserved, they're only allowed to use them for a Sefer Torah scroll. You can't, these are the letters in their true gorgeous forms. These are the letters that all the prophets prophesy with. These are the letters that Hashem creates the whole universe with, as we can see, as we saw a little bit with the Shin and the Lamed, and every letter is what's translated as letter, otiyot, An ot, right? Paro said to Moshe, give me an ot, which is really give me a sign. These are not mistranslated as letters, but this is not just simply letters. These are signs, symbols, and the sages call them pictures, tmunot, pictures. That these are 22 gorgeous minimalist pictures that each depict a truth or fact of life that you can't argue with facts of life. So, for example, the letter Hey, Rabbi Ari Kaplan Zatzal, in the name of the Baal Shem Tov, says that this is the letter that Hashem creates our hand with. So it's interesting already, Hey and hand. But looking at, so Hey is the fifth letter. So when you're seeing, by the way, this, I'm sorry, if this is the Aleph Bet arranged as a number chart. Okay, so Aleph is 1, Bet is 2, Gimel 3, and it continues till Tet, which is 9. Then begins the tens column, and then begins the hundreds column. And these grayed out letters here, that's very difficult to see over there, but there's 5 grayed out letters here. And these are the Sofiyot, meaning some of the letters, one of the unique features is that the letters themselves, they move. Some of the letters could be open, some of the letters could be closed, some of the letters could be bent, and some of the letters could be straight. This is a unique feature based on where they are in the word. So the letters move, and the kids discuss what each of these means. And so Hey is the fifth letter, counting it, right? And so Hey, you have 5 fingers on your hand. Okay. But when you look closer at the letter Hey, you notice that it's in fact made of 2 other letters. That's one of the another unique feature of Lashon HaKodesh, is that letters are made up of other letters. So here we're just going to discuss the letter Hey. So can you see the letters that make up the letter Hey? So right away, you can see almost immediately that this is the letter Dalet, that the Dalet is right there. And then it has an upside down letter Yud. Okay, so again, using the numbering system, so this is Yud is 10, Kaf is 20, Lamed 30, right? So Yud is 10, Dalet is 4, and that is 14. If you look closer at your 5 fingers, you notice that they have exactly 14 segments on each of your 5 fingers. So 2 on the thumb and 3 on every other finger, and that is 14. So again, 5, looking closer though, it's really 14. So we have 5 fingers looking closer, really made of 14 segments. But not only that, how do you write hand in Lashon HaKodesh? It's exactly Yud and Dalet, Yad. It's a hand. That is what it is. So that's what I mean. A little example that Baruch Hashem, that the Aleph Bet, we have to see them in their true gorgeous forms. And otherwise we're being robbed of a whole visual experience and the depth and the beauty of the Torah and the divinity of the Torah. What makes the Torah divine and not like any other thing on earth? But that's, of course, only the Torah in its true form. In Ketav Ashurit, the letters in their true forms, true gorgeous forms, scribed and copied letter by letter from the original Sefer Torah that Moshe brought down. And then Moshe wrote the 12 Torahs for the 12 tribes, so that every tribe can copy, all the men could copy from the Sefer Torah, letter by letter. It's the only way it's allowed to be written. It can't be written from memory. If it's written from memory, the whole thing is invalid. If there's an extra letter, the whole thing is invalid. If there's a missing letter, the whole thing is invalid. If it's not written on the right parchment, the whole thing is invalid. Basically, thousands of rules in writing an authentic Sefer Torah scroll. And one of them is that the letters have to be in their true, gorgeous forms, exactly as they appear on a real Sefer Torah scroll. And so the Aleph Bet, these are going to be the things that most people never get to see. As Rabbi Ari Kaplan Zatzal writes on the cover of his handbook on Jewish thought, he writes there, he says, unfortunately, the more important the idea, the less the average person knows about it. Because why is this? Why is this? It's very simple. Because as Rabbi Ari Kaplan Zatzal says in the name of the Toldot Yaakov Yosef, in the name of the Baal Shem Tov, because you have to think like the enemy would. or learn from the evil, think like the enemy would think. And we know how the enemy thinks. They always want to cut us off from the very things that give us life, from the very foundations. So the Torah is written with this gorgeous script of the alphabet. What is the enemy going to target? What is the enemy going to make sure that the kids never get? And that's exactly the alphabet. It answers itself. That's exactly what the enemy will target the most, the alphabet. So you'll never see the letters in their true forms. And so many levels preventing, right? Because it's not just about learning the alphabet, meaning like most people hear the alphabet. It's like learning how to read Hebrew, the Hebrew letters. No. We're talking about Hashem's divine pictures. We're talking about 22 gorgeous minimalist pictures that depict everything, collectively depict everything in reality. These are the letters that reality is written with, that the universe is made with, these letters. You can actually see them. Like the letter Shin that makes up the teeth, the Lamed that could stick out of the mouth like a tongue, the Etz, the tree. Alright, so sorry, just to finish that thought actually on the alphabet, that so when we say Yad, we're always referring to the 5 fingers made of 14 segments, and the palm of the hand is called the Kaf, the letter Kaf. The Kaf Hayad. Kaf is literally the source of the word cup. It's a cup on its side visually, and it's the source of the English word cup. When you put a dagesh in the pei, which means if you put a little dot in the pei, so you read it as pei and not fe, that the little dot changes from reading it fe to the letter pe. So ka, so the letter is called kaf. You put a dagesh, now you read it cup, literally a cup. So the kaf is the cup on its side, literally looks exactly like a cup. When you draw a cup in the simplest way, it's exactly that. So that's that. So yeah, I guess in a quick video, learn the Aleph. It's time to learn the alphabet. Just come back to learning the alphabet the way that the little kids used to learn. As Hagaon Rav Zamir Cohen Shlita brings in his book Hatzofen on page 43, quoting Talmud Bavli Masechet Shabbat, page 104a, exactly how the little kids used to learn the alphabet in the times of the sages, exactly how Rabbi Akiva began to learn at the age of 40 years old. The keys to life, the Torah, and life. Kol Tuv.